darling. Happy hump day. How's it going? I think this is episode number 75, if I'm not mistaken. Well, and I'm thinking of some things. I'll tell you about it. Let's get into it. Hello, world. Come inside the Dear Juju podcast. So this is episode number 75, and I feel very on the fence. I do. I feel very on the fence because I absolutely love doing my podcast. And even if sometimes I just see the number on one of the platforms is only like 50 people listen to it, I'm just still like, I can't believe 50 people fucking still listen to it. Like, it's so much fun for me to sit and do it, but I don't make any money at it. So it's kind of a situation of either I need to shit or get off the pot in the way of, I either need to go to a place like Patreon and just move it over there and only do one a month for free and then do the rest over, on a Patreon, or I need to get advertisers, And so because this is 75 episodes, you guys, this takes a lot of work for free. If you listen to this, if you love this, write down in the comments if you would transfer over to the Patreon, or do you like it just because it's free? You know what I mean? So let me know, because I'm either just at a shit or get off the pot kind of situation. Now, I am tired. I am so tired. I went to F45 for the first time yesterday since breaking my hand. And you know what? I lifted the weights and it was actually good for my hand. Like, my hand actually feels stronger today than it did before. And I think that lifting weights for a broken hand is actually a good thing, It still feels a little funky when I open and close it, but it felt good. And I lifted all my weights. Oh my God, how much do you love my kimono? Look at those, are actual metal thread dragons. Honey, it's so sick. But yeah, I'm a little bit tired today. I lifted weights. I almost threw up. I was very dizzy. And today I'm just a little like, ooh. Whoa, mama. So I'm really trying to focus on my health. My Manjaro is coming this week. So I'm really being like, every other day I've got to work out. Every other day. I think that's really good for perimenopausal. It's like one day you're on, one day you rest. One day you're on, one day you rest. Like, that feels good. And if I take 2 days of rest, then I have to do 2 days on. That's my new thing. I'm going to stick to every other day working out until I get a little bit stronger and have more energy and lose more of the weight, and then I'll bump it up. But honey, let me tell you, my husband and I speaking of, my husband's also in this kind of like weight. We've both just gained weight. We feel rolls on our back. We don't feel very good about ourselves. We're low energy. We're exhausted. We're tired. Our sleep sucks. We're, leaning on sugar. It's just not good. That stuff just ends up in a bad situation. And so he's also decided, even though we didn't really talk to each other, we're just kind of in sync in this way. He decided to get a home gym. Okay? The fight that broke out because of his home gym. You know where he wants to put the home gym? In my kitchen. I said, listen, you are a bogan white trash mofo. Nobody has a home gym in their kitchen. Home gyms are for the garage. They're for the spare bedroom. They're for a back shed. Nobody is working out in their fucking kitchen. And he's like, well, you have every other room in the house, which is true. I do. This is actually like our garage. This room is equivalent to our garage. It's a catch-all room. It's a storage room. It's my podcast room. And I feel like a lot of people do the podcast in the garage. So this makes sense to me that this is like our garage. But the spare bedroom, who the fuck wants to work out there? It's got like a A-frame ceiling that's a little bit low. And then my dressing room is right next to it. And that's about it. And he's like, you have every other room. I'm like, I don't. So what? You're going to impede on the place where our family spends the most time, the kitchen. That's where you're actually going to put the weights. Like, what if people come over? You have to move those weights. When he goes out of town and on the weekends, those weight has to get moved. So, oh my God, we got in such a fight because he's like, you can't just own the whole house. I said, listen, let me explain this. Since men love to mansplain, let me womansplain this in terms that your dumb pea-sized brain can understand, okay? There are rules to good design. There are rules to the home. Now, sometimes you can break those rules and go against the rules, but you know that you're breaking the rules for the sake of good design or creating something new or something that you like, and that's fine, working within the parameters. But putting a home gym in the kitchen / lounge room, the only like open space where we spend 90% of our time in this house, is like playing football with a fucking golf ball. You just don't do it. I don't want to see the weights. I don't want to see you working out there. Like while I'm cooking dinner, I don't want to look at a home gym. It's so bad. We put so much money into our beautiful bar. I was so pissed. And he was just like, I'm doing it anyways. I was like, you know what? Fine. I just don't want to see him on the weekends because if people stop by or this, that, and the other, it's just so ghetto. It's just so ghetto. The thing about this house is it's big and there's so much square footage, but it doesn't make as much sense as like a wide house, you know? So it's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. I said, take one of the living rooms. We have 2 living rooms, an adult and a kid's. The kids are always in my living room. Always. Like they're basically never in that living room. I'm like, take that living room, put your office in there, put your home gym in there, and we'll call that Riley's little space. Go for it. He's like, I don't want to work out there. I'm like, oh my God. I said all that to say this. We took our before pictures, okay? I have a folder full of before pictures of him and I. We are kings and queens of the before, honey. We will take a before and we swear we will get to the after. I have gotten to the after one time. He's never gotten to the after. I've gotten to it one time. Orange Theory, after Rocco, I won the Orange Theory challenge and I got down to 132 pounds and I looked pretty ripped. You want to see a picture? How I did that, just so you know, is I did Orange Theory 5 times a week, Monday through Friday. I was also younger. I was 35. I also did the 4-hour body. 6 days of eating chicken and beans and veggies, and then on the 7th day going ham and having a cheat day and doing whatever I want, and that's how I got down. So yeah, I worked out yesterday at F45 and I was fucking so tired and so dizzy, and now today I'm just like a fucking zombie. I'm like, oh. But you know, that's okay. I think that's okay. We have a lot going on this week. We're meeting with the owner of the business, the boring business that we bought for Main Street Millionaire, to get our head bullet points and our head of terms all kind of negotiated and out on the table. So that's moving forward very nicely. And it's Georgiana's birthday, so I'll be throwing her a red carpet party. Hopefully, I need to look and make sure I have enough everything for everyone, especially the goodie bags. You want to overdo the goodie bags, not underdo the goodie bags. So, and if I need to do any last minute Amazon purchases, that will be happening. But there's also like parents' drinks on Friday and just a lot going on. You know, I have to return stuff. So even little things like returning something to Zara fucking stresses me out. I shit you not. I'm like, oh shit, I might even do that after this. So sorry if I'm a little low energy today, but I think sometimes it's just okay. Just okay to just be a little chill, you know. And after last week when I had, company over, it also kind of drains me a little bit because I absorb energy. I show them a good time. We have fun. We drank a little too much. So then the following week, I'm always a little bit just emotionally, and the space that I have is a little bit like hungover. I am hungover physically from it, but also just emotional. Like there's an emotional hangover when you have friends or family in town. I think especially if you're a deeply feeling and sensitive little person like me. And you know what? She's going through a divorce, and divorce is awful. I'll say that. Divorce is awful. It would kill me. It would just kill me. And so she's so strong, and I'm so proud of her because hasn't been in love with him for some time, and I'm proud that she's actually taking the steps to do it for her rather than going, this is what I should be doing, is keeping my family together, because they have a kid that's Rocco's age. So I'm so proud of her. She feels lighter, she feels freer, she looks better, she looks happier in her eyes. And she had him that week, so she came and visited me. But now her husband, or her ex-husband, has him this week. And She's co-parenting. And while divorce is awful, I have found myself slightly daydreaming about co-parenting. Like, wait, so this week, you are not responsible for, you have a kid, you're not responsible for him, and you can go work out whenever you want. You don't have to pick them up. You can work whenever you want. You can go do anything. I guess that's also what having a nanny is kind of like. And now I understand why rich people have nannies, because they're like, I want to fucking live my life too. I want to live my life with my kids. But if I feel like going and returning to Zara and don't make it for a pickup, that's also fine. And then someone else can cook the dinner. Oh my God. What a fucking, look at me just daydreaming. I'm just daydreaming about having a personal chef cooking high protein, high veg dinners and me just doing whatever I want. I'm not going to lie, it sounds great. So divorce is awful, but co-parenting doesn't sound that bad. Or getting a nanny and a chef. What's more expensive, a divorce or a nanny? Also, another thing that I thought about that has really been on my brain is the less I know, the better I live. I know. It's a very unconventional, people are like, you got to know, you got to fight for what's going on. If you're not fighting now, then, you to just all this stuff. And there's so much, oh God, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of news and what's going on in the world, oh, you will find it, plenty. But I find what's good for my mental health is the less I know, the better I live. I know. You guys are like, how could you be ignorant? Well, because I want to protect my peace and my mental health. And what can I do from this place anyways? And I know everyone's like, well, if everyone said that, no one would do anything. And I get that. Okay. I give charity. I give money. I vote where I need to. Like, I do what I need to do. But me obsessing over it on my couch just to then get up, not do anything about it and feel awful, but then I'm aware. It's just the less I know, the better I live. I don't know who needs to hear that right now. And maybe that'll piss you off. But I'm just telling you what I do for my peace. And if your team, less I know, better I live, just try it. Try doing like a news and especially bad news detox for a month. You're going to go like, why the fuck do I feel amazing? Why am I like finding amazing things in every day? And it's like, oh yeah, because I haven't been consuming that junk. It's the same thing as like consuming junk food and sugar, but for your brain. The less I know, the better I live. Can you believe it? Last week I forgot to do some Q&A with some TNA. I was like, why is this one so short? So with all that, let's get into some Q&A with some TNA, shall we? Dear Juju, I have a question about forgiveness. This is so crazy. I'm so on a forgiveness train right now. What's something that you've forgiven yourself for, and how did it change the way you live? I try to. I think the hardest thing that I go through as a mother is forgiving myself when I slip up, and because we have so much information on what we should be doing, so we should all over ourselves, right? And how we should be treating our kids, especially if our kids are a little neurodivergent or things like that. And so you understand the brain, you understand the way it works, and you understand how you should react, and sometimes I don't. So every night what I do when I mess up is I replay it for myself, and I do it as if my higher self was the mother and what I know to be true, and when I have the capacity, and I will replay it about 3 times in my mind's eye. Let's say I snapped at the kids and said, stop it. Why are you guys always doing this? It's so annoying, and then I'll feel really bad because Georgie will probably go off crying and Rocco would internalize it, which is not good. And then I have to say, sorry, guys, sorry. And then I just go to bed with so much guilt. What I'll do is I'll replay how it should have gone that night. And that absolves the guilt. Not fully, but it definitely almost like turns a block of ice into steam, and that's how you transmute those things. So first I say, forgive myself. I am doing the best that I can, and I'm tired, and I didn't have enough capacity to fucking, hold space. And then I will, in my mind's eye, go, take a deep breath and go, guys, I need to walk out of this room because I'm going to lose it. Okay? See you in a second, or whatever I need to do, and like walk out, imagine myself taking breaths and coming back in. What that does is it actually rewires your subconscious so that instead of attaching to the person that you don't want to be, you then attach to the person that you do want to be. And about 9 times out of 10, next time, you will react in the way that you practiced your mind's eye to do. I mean, basketball players do this all the time. They imagine them shooting the hoop and the ball going through the hoop and them winning. Like, the mind's eye and rehearsal in the brain is so powerful, and I don't feel like we use it enough. So that's the way it changed the way I live, because then I don't carry that guilt, and then I'm not working from a guilty place. Dear Juju, have you ever broken your own heart for the right reason? Oh gosh. Yes. I've broken my own heart twice and it has been for the right reason, because I put up boundaries, and I knew that these men that I loved too, one was a Brazilian jiu-jitsu fighter, thighs like a motherfucker. And I was so obsessed with his face. I'd never seen a face like that. It was the most, it almost felt like a mask. It was such a beautiful face. And he was so beautiful, and his body was so beautiful. And he was 10 years older than me. And oh my God, and so was the other one. And then when I was 24, I had the hottest player about town, a boulevardier, if you will. He was a fashion guy and just like the it guy in the LA. And I loved him too. And he was a booty call situation. And I had to break it off with both of them because I loved them so much. And I knew that they didn't have the capacity to love me back in the same way that I loved them. I could just feel it. And I was like, oh, I love you. And they were both 10 years older than me. I was like, I love you, and I love you a lot. And I don't think that you can love me the same way that I love you. I felt it. It's that unspoken current. Cut to, I am now 42, so they're 52, no families, both still bachelors. Okay? So yes, I have, but it broke my heart because I loved them. What is one vain thing that's actually sacred to you? It's my makeup. Definitely my makeup. I've been putting makeup on since I was about 4 years old, and it just makes me be in that glamour showgirl vibe, and it just reminds me of little me playing in my mom's makeup, and I absolutely love it. Last question. Dear Juju, this is all about career, if you don't mind. If your career had an eras tour, what would this current era be called? Ooh, that's a great question. I think this era it's definitely motherhood, and it's finding myself after motherhood, because right now, like, once from 1 to 5, you are so in the thick of it with your kids, you're lost. Like, those 5 years, if you can hold on to any sense of self, I think you've done really well. But for me, I wanted to give my all to my kids. I know a lot of women go back to work and just do the whole thing, but I really poured myself into my kids. It was something that I took it as very serious as I did a job. But now I'm kind of coming out of it. Georgiana's turning 5, right? So I feel like this era is motherfucker. Who I am as an unfolding post babies, right? Because now what does my career look like as a mother with having kids in a household? What does my body look like after the first 5 years are done? What does my health and career and like maintenance, and it just feels like a phoenix unfolding. But now she's unfolding in a way that's so like grounded and internal and tapped into herself. It's very different. it's very strong. That's why I'm like, it feels like a phoenix coming out of the ashes, because I'm exploring myself in a new way, with a new body, with a new mindset, with a new spirituality of pre having kids and growing them the first 5 years. And now, they get more and more independent. So it's like, as they get more and more independent, I should also get more and more independent and make sure that I'm adding these self rituals back in to take care of myself. So yeah, what would you call that? Mother Phoenix unfolding, living her best magical life, Mother Magic, right? Back to self. I don't know. That's what it feels like. It feels like a mother phoenix, like gaining her independence, gaining her steam, and absolutely living such a good life that I feel so incredibly grateful to live beyond, beyond, beyond. I'm in an attitude of gratitude all November and finding the glamour in gratitude. And God, motherhood is not glamorous at all, but it's also like the most glamorous thing that you can do. I'm going to start crying. Jesus Christ, I'm tired. I just can't believe my little baby's turning 5. Oh, she was, can't believe it. But I'm happy. She's the most spunky, amazing little 5-year-old in the world. And of course, my son is becoming so amazing and such a fantastic man every single day. And it's an honor to grow with them. And I just hope as they grow and get independent and better each day, so do I, and that I can be that model for them. So a mother phoenix unfolding, I would call it. All right, that's it for my podcast. I clearly need to go either have a nap or a cup of coffee, but don't forget that you're a star. I love you. Let me know if you would switch over to Patreon, and I'll see you next week. And I'm out. Mwah.